Hey, what's up? It is good to see you, and today we are photographing dessert with the 100 macro. I normally use the 50 or the 85 for desserts or food shots, but I switch things up, use the 100 macro, and love it. Why don't we go get dessert? Why don't we shoot it? And just make it happen all on our own. Yeah, why not? But before we go grab those delicious desserts, I wanted to take this opportunity to formally invite you to subscribe to my YouTube channel. It has been called Awful and the Worst. So rest assured, should you choose to subscribe, you are in for a treat. Speaking of treats, okay, and then I also picked up 2 plates, one white and one black. That way we can play around with different colors. And then I found these at Target on clearance. They're little dessert plates. We'll give those a shot. Use these flat lay boards. I don't remember where I got them, but I wrote a blog post on how I style my flat lays with my styling kit. So I will link to that in the description. And this will give us a nice clean gradient in the background. We can always use these flowers if we need to for some extra styling. Oh, and dessert. We've got our pink board, our peach macaroon, and some flowers. And then of course we've got our 100 macro. And I changed that up so that the light is coming from the right side. That way I don't have to battle my shadow. So if I stay on this side, whoop, that is gonna be annoying the whole time. So I switched over here. The other day when I was using the 100 macro to photograph those details, I noticed there were a few angles I was really drawn toward. So the first one is this front shot where you're really getting in close on the detail. It looks just like you're featuring the dessert. If I was shooting this for a restaurant, I would try to take a horizontal and a vertical of every shot. And then I set my aperture to 2.8, my ISO to 1600, and my shutter speed to 1/125. And then that second angle is the one where you're up above. So it's an aerial shot, and I think it just kind of gives off a really strong mood or presence, or maybe a better word for it is atmosphere. Gives you a feeling about the food or the dessert that you're photographing. Just as a side note, I was gonna go with that board back there. It looks kind of goldish, but I decided to go with this green. I think it just kind of brightens it up and makes it feel fun and summery. In my opinion, simple or minimal is always better, but this definitely needs something to break up the background from the dessert. Let's just see what we have. I didn't plan for this, so I've got no clue. This stuff I haven't really organized in my office, but I do have this. I think it's a little bit more whimsical than what I want this to feel like, so we shall keep thinking. Okay. So I was going to use this for something else, and I'll probably still use it for that, but this will break it up perfectly. I know I'm being particular, but I hate that the wrinkles are here, so something else. Just kidding, I made this work. So I folded it where the creases are, and then just kind of waved it around the dessert. One thing to know about the 100 is that there are a few different settings you can choose. I always switch stabilizer to on, leave it on autofocus. Sometimes I'll shoot in manual focus if I need to. And then that right there where it says full, and then it gives you some ranges. If you are definitely shooting up close, you'll want to switch it to the far left or right. I'm not sure which side it'll show on your screen. It'll say on the lens 0.3M to 0.5M. The other option is to switch it to full, or you could even go 0.5 to infinity. If I'm shooting up close, I always leave it on 0.3 to 0.5, and that means it will only focus if something is super close to the lens. Most of the time I use the close-up because I'm shooting details with this lens, but you know, if I was shooting portraits or something or a landscape from far away, I'm going to switch it to 0.5 to infinity. Last angle is a mix from up above and straight on, so it's kind of to the side and a little raised. That way you can see you get a nice background, some good bokeh. It's really a shot that would work really well if you were photographing for magazines. So an opening story, that first image in that story, this would be good.
Wanna move my feet, wanna drink my wine, wanna move my feet, wanna drink my wine, wanna move my feet, wanna drink my wine, wanna move my feet.
To get everything in focus, I bumped up the aperture to 4.0 and bumped up the ISO to 3200. I've heard people call it ISO, 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 ISO. I call it ISO. I just like spelling letters. That's all I'm doing. I don't know. Please don't ever think that I'm fancy, because I dust this off on my pant leg. I'm gonna keep the settings at 4.0 right here since we have something super bright on something dark. And then I'm gonna take a picture where it's this right here. We just cut the dessert in half. We have a lot of black, a lot of space that's just lovely and creamy and blurred over here. So we'll take our straight on shot, our angled shot, and our aerial shot. We're gonna shoot on this brown board. A little bit more challenging in the edit, but to photograph the dessert, we really need this brown board. And let's scrape off some of these crumbs. It looks nice and delicious. I wanted to answer this question that I got from Katie. She says, focusing wise, is it best to manually select focus points in camera for each shot? I have always had my focal point set to the center, locked in focus, and adjusted my frame. What do you use for focus points? So there are a lot of approaches to how to get a tack sharp focus. You can use any of them and they will all work. As long as you're seeing the results that you want, you can use anything. So what Katie's asking, she's wondering, you know, do you set the focus in the center and then recompose, or do you go ahead and switch your focus point over to the corner or wherever you'll be focusing? And I actually do both. So I find myself sticking to the center and trying to recompose. If for some reason I don't think I'm getting a clear shot of like the macaroon, I noticed myself doing this a minute ago, then I will just stop recomposing and I will switch my focus point to one spot on the grid. I actually don't prefer having a lot of focus options. So I think some cameras have 32 or 64 options. I tend to stick to 9. So I have 9 focus points to choose from. That makes it super simple. And then from there, if I needed something more specific, I would just recompose from that spot. Do you remember that time when I got drenched in the rain?
Okay, I only got a little wet for that. I cannot wait to see your photos on Instagram looking all amazing. Tag me, okay? If you like this video, hit that thumbs up button and don't forget your umbrella when you go shoot. Okay, yeah, totally worth it.
Over the last year, I have felt really excited to focus all of my energy in my business to YouTube. I mean, obviously gotta answer some emails and do stuff like that, but to really focus in on YouTube and create videos here. So I got this office space so that I can do just that. I can record rain or shine, and I will not get wet. If you like this video, hit that thumbs up button, give it a like, and don't forget you can always subscribe for more awful videos just like this one. Know that I am cheering you on big time. See you later.